start off with a kicker question.
Okay.
A change of pace. How are things going, and is there any separation right now?
Well, I think they're really close. I think that they're both doing a great job. There's not a ton of separation there. Both of them rebounded from some days that they could have kicked better, and I thought they kicked pretty solid today. So it's just a matter of who's going to execute when the game comes down to it. And they're competing, they're doing everything we're asking them to do, and really look forward to see how it's going to shake out.
I have a holder question to shake things
Okay.
up. And I might be dating myself, but it's two-part. One, at what point did backup quarterbacks stop being the holder? And I'm guessing it's because the specialists work together, maybe for time purposes. Mm-hmm. But and then how important is the holder and kicker relationship for mental confidence?
Those are two really good questions. I think that I think they started going away from that quite a while ago, just because the time for the backup quarterbacks doing it to work with the specialists would have to be before or after practice, when we can work together doing all the situational stuff and everything like that the whole time as a specialist group, right? So that's a really good question. The other one, as far as the snapper and the holder, they are extremely important, and that whole operation, is huge to a kicker's success. And I think you can see that over time with people that have worked together for quite a while. You can see it right away with people that haven't. If you get a new kicker in and stuff like that, and they have a new holder, there's some time to get adjusted, just like any other thing, any other position. So once you get the ability to work together all the time, and the more that they can, that they hang out with each other and they like each other and they spend time with each other and especially work together, that's a huge element to it for sure.
Coach, this organization has struggled with special teams through multiple coordinators. What assurances did you need to hear from Shanahan or Lynch when they offered you the job before you would agree to take it?
I don't need any assurances. What I wanted to come to is a really good winning organization with proven people that are nothing but class guys and a class organization, which this has been an awesome place for us and for me and my family. I think that there's going to be some growing pains a little bit as far as the guys learning the system and stuff like that, and hopefully we can get all those shook out before the regular season starts. But they're learning, they're coming along every day. It's been unbelievable communication with as far as special teams guys and players and stuff like that with Kyle and Shanahan with Lynch and his group. I think it's been really good. I've been really happy with it.
Kyle said before that he gets more. He thinks sometimes he gets more out of a joint practice from another game than he does from the actual game, from the preseason game. Is that way in the special teams too, and how big is that going to be for you guys?
Sure, it's going to be big because it's big for a lot of people, because it's the first time we get to see him competing against other people. We see him every day here. I think a lot of times, in practice you can't simulate the game kind of tempo, because you're not taking people to the ground, you're not tackling people, you're not, where I'm not asking them to be so physical in practice because we'll get people hurt, right? And so when we scrimmage people like this here in the next couple of weeks, I think it's really valuable, especially for those young guys that need a ton of reps, that haven't had a bunch of reps, and they see what it's like to go against not just the guys they've been going against all the time. They see new players that they're going and you find out, the guys that are listening and taking the techniques to the field. And what you see is in the first game is generally they just try to kind of, you can see it over time how they just grow and grow and grow every rep that they take. And so, I think that experience is very valuable for sure.
When the kickoff rule changed, I know you guys talked about kind of figuring out how what the best return combination is. Running backs and a fullback, two receivers, whatever it was. What did you learn from last year, and how do you kind of view what you're looking for?
I think it's a good question. I think it was a good, a really big adjustment for everybody in the league, and I think the first 4 or 5 games, I think we're all learning, obviously, because we hadn't done it before, and some of the stuff that we had majored in the past, we had to change. But I think that, the longer the season went, we started figuring out what would work and what didn't work and stuff like that through practice and in the games, and then you make the applicable changes, right? And then you try to find those guys that whatever our guys do best, and so within that scheme. And so, you know, I majored in something that if my returner changes, I have to change schemes that to benefit what he does best. And I think that that's a big element to what, you know, all the special teams coaches have to do. You've got to understand what kind of personnel you have and what they do best, and try to put them in the best positions to succeed.
A challenge then for you, and putting more on your plate in terms of trying to figure that out.
It's a big challenge for sure. It really is. You know, I mean, a lot of hours spent, you know, studying tape and you know, all the stuff that, you know, I think it was the XFL or whatever it was that was doing it before, and you know, it was we studied a ton of tape, and you know, tried to figure out what we could get to and what we couldn't, and through trial and error and stuff like that in practice, you know, could I run, you know, all these double returns that I used to run, you couldn't get to them from these new alignments and stuff like that. So I think maybe with some you know, this extra guy back this year, there's a possibility that you can get to some of that, but it's all going to be trial and error, like I said, from here on out as well.
On that subject, you've got running backs that are used to zone running, what they do on offense. Does that lend itself to kick returns at all? Just you know, being able to kind of follow a track and then quickly cut up field?
Sure, I think it's a good question as well. I think that you know, anytime you can have those returners, I always tell the returners they're the best blockers that we have, because if you can set it up to a certain side or whatever, it's going to open up the front side as well as the back side. But if you run straight up the middle and you're just going up the middle, everybody's going to squeeze and contain the field on you, and so it's going to constrict your lanes. And so those zone kind of runners that can take all of the air out and put their foot in the ground and get vertical, that's what we're looking for. And it certainly helps having a scheme, and answer your question that we're in here, it certainly helps for sure.
How has Bergen looked so far handling punts?
He looks good. He looks good. He's you know, he's learning to catch some. We're kicking him some different balls that he's going to get during the season, whether it's the banana ball or whether it's the directional aim right and then pulls left. And so we're working on all those kicks with all those guys. And so they're all getting back there, and they're all learning every day, and they're all improving every day. And it's going to be interesting to see how it shakes out.
Do you do that from, well, maybe it's both. Do you do that from machine or Morstead?
More of Morstead, just so he can give them all those kicks, because it's really hard to simulate those banana balls and you know, the aim one way and then pull it back to the left and stuff like that, with those guys having to be in the middle of the field, because a lot of times through study they'll see what way you know, by the punter's alignment, which way they're kicking and stuff like that. But if you have those, you know, if you can get them off the spot, so to speak, with those returners, and get them over playing one side and then kick it back to the other, that's all the stuff that they need work on, not only the punter but the returners as well.
Do you know what happened to Grendo on that special teams drill?
I don't.
Assuming it's not serious there, is he a candidate to be on kickoff returns? He had some good ones last year. He's big, he's fast.
Dorendo? Yeah, there's a whole group of guys, and he's one of them for sure. They're doing a really nice job communicating back there, and you know, all this practice stuff. And as much as we'd like to say one guy's pulling you know, ahead of another, it's tough to see until they get in the game and see how they react and see what decisions that they make. Are they secure? You know, or is the ball secure? Are they hitting the holes at 100 miles an hour like we're going to want them to? So that's something that you can evaluate in the games, and it's hard to do in practice. But they're all doing a really nice job.
Returns be somewhat close to live in this scrimmage with Denver?
I mean, you can simulate as close as you can. We just don't want anybody on the ground or anything like that, you know. So you really got to try to work together and take care of each other when you do these scrimmages, for sure.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Mykel, what do you think of your first NFL training camp so far?
It's been great. It's been great. Just getting here with all the vets and getting to go against great talent and also get to learn from my vets and great players and great coaches around me. It's been great.
You carve out a little time each day to pick the brains of the vets on both sides of the ball, your teammates on the defensive line as well as the offensive linemen?
Yeah, I definitely do. That's something I constantly think about is what are the O-linemen seeing, especially from me when I'm rushing them. So I definitely pick their minds to try to tweak my game a little bit with the information that they tell me.
Have they been?
Oh, extremely helpful, especially like both tackles, McKivitz and Trent, and the guards as well.
TJ West has caught our eye in the one-on-one pass rush, his power. Is that something that you have noticed and you guys have kind of talked about as well?
Yeah, that's something I've noticed as well. He's extremely powerful. He uses his hands well, has great pad level. I think he's going to be a great player.
With the ones pretty much right away. Salah said the other day, there's no need to hide it. Or this is the spot we want him in. Was there a conversation had? Were there anything about like, hey, this is going to be your opportunity right away here?
No, sir. There wasn't. I just try to come in and do my job to the best of my ability. So.
You taken away from Nick Bosa by either just watching him in practices or conversations you've had with him?
Yeah, man, I took a lot in from Nick. He's been a great help for me, especially in the pass rush and hand usage game. I definitely took tools from that. And then just watching him practice, just looking at his mentality as he practiced. So it's something I definitely picked up on.
Shanahan talked about your hand usage. He said it was very advanced for someone coming out of college. Who is there one specific coach or person that helped develop that for you?
No, I wouldn't say one specific coach, but I just feel like there's time on attention, just constant reps over the years. We're working with guys like Chuck Smith to BT Jordan to all my position coaches throughout the years to kind of get my hands where they are now.
You practiced a couple of days ago with an ankle injury. How's your ankle feeling?
I feel great. Yeah.
Was it the same ankle that you hurt last year?
Yeah, yes, it was.
The other day, when you guys break huddle as a team, you're a guy that sprints to where you need to be. Is that just kind of is that hustle just ingrained in you to always get going and not loaf around out there?
Yeah, I don't even like. It's not like I think about it like sprint. Like I just do it. Yeah, like yes, sir.
As much as football it was big time in college at Georgia, to have it be your job, and from the morning the time you get up to the time you go to bed at night during training camp, are you enjoying it? Is it a lot to absorb? How would you describe your first week of training camp?
I love it. Like you said, man, football is my job now, and that's something you dream of since you're 10 years old, since you're a kid and you first pick up the ball. So just to be living that, I'm just taking it all in day by day.
Rich is a high-energy coach, and you can hear him, 20 yards away. What's it like playing for Chris so far, and what kinds of things, Mykel, has he emphasized that you need to work on?
Yeah, he's a great coach. He's a great coach, and it's been a great plan for him, and just hearing the wisdom that he has over the years that he's been doing it, and over the great players he coached, just the things that he's able to teach you and put in your game, implement in your game, and it's been great. And he's also been telling me that I need to work on my pad level and stuff like that, just keeping my pads down.
Chris has mentioned that he was looking forward to your flexibility to pass rush from the outside to inside. Just because you had been able to do that a little bit at Georgia. How comfortable are you with just that versatility, and how's that been going so far?
Yeah, I'm extremely comfortable rushing inside and out. Like you said, that's something that I did in the past at Georgia, and I'm continuously doing it right now. And I don't feel discomfort in it, so we're pretty good.
Any distinct difference inside or out that you have to adjust to be more successful?
I mean, just in football, like things happen faster in the middle than they do on the edge. So that's you got to speed your hands and your feet up. But that's pretty much really kind of one of the differences. And it's shorter sets, but we get into football talk then. But it just things happen a little quicker. Yeah.
Really ask Trent Williams if you could borrow his play.
Yeah, I did. Yeah, man. My pops told me a while ago, man, closed mouth don't get fed. So he offered, and I had to take him up on it. Yeah.
Are you ready when you borrow Trent's plane, I mean, I assume there's a cost to it. Is that right? Or do you?
See, we didn't even get that far. he was using it, but it probably is a cost to it, or fuel, but
Pilot or whatever.
yeah, it's OG, man. OG gonna look out.
Fly on it down to Cabo?
Huh?
Did you fly on it down to Cabo with him?
No, we left at 2 different days. Yeah. All right, thank y'all.
everybody doing today? Good. Everybody enjoying their day out here? It's good to hear.
After the off-season program and the first 4 days of camp, how excited were you to put the pads on?
I was ecstatic. I could not wait for real football. That's, as a defensive lineman, that's what you play the game for, the violence and the physicality of the game. So when we were able to finally put the pads on and get out to it, that's what I was most excited for.
I think that once the pads go on, that's when you, in particular, really are able to elevate your game.
Mm-hmm. I mean, even with the pads off, I try to, really focus on my technique, my steps, how tight my hands are, all those situations. But, when the pads finally come on, you get to be a little more physical and be more violent. And that's what my game kind of insists. I'm a very violent player, very physical when it comes to the point of attack. So, once the pads come on, it makes it a little easier for me to do my job.
When you're finishing some of these offensive linemen in the one-on-ones, and they're taking it personal. I mean, do you feel like when you're doing that, you're doing your job?
I do it with no evil intent or anything. It's just me, playing as hard as I possibly can, and trying to get better every single day. And I mean, I appreciate them as well because they push me some of these reps as well, and I learn different things every rep I take. They may use a different technique. I'm like, oh, that was different. I haven't seen that one before, and they get the best of me sometimes. But I just play as hard as I can every single go, so I can just learn from all my mistakes that I might have did in my previous reps.
How do you balance when you're having success like we see you having, especially in the one-on-one pass rush drills, but you also want to work on some stuff and try new things out? How do you kind of, tell your mind like, hey, it's fun to win, but I also want to, maybe I'm going to lose, but I'm at least trying something different.
Right, of course. You always kind of want to stick to what your game is, but that's sometimes what practice is for, trying something different, trying something new, and see if that might work for you, and it might not. So, and that's what the failure process is, just to learn from that mistake. And if it doesn't work, flip the page and try to use a different, move or a different approach with that. So, as the reps keep going, I'm just slowly learning, what's my game and how I fit in the NFL, how I fit in this team and this scheme.
How helpful has Chris been in that regard to push you to try some new things?
I mean, Coach Chris is awesome. He's awesome. He's very passionate about the game, and he's really passionate about, helping us learn. So when it comes to him, he's very detail-oriented. So just all the small details, how I step, how I'm getting off the ball, my hands coming off first, you know what I'm saying? So he's very detail-oriented, and that's the difference between here and college. Every single detail matters. And if I take a wrong step, I'm done for that play. It just takes a left turn. So he's very detail-oriented when it comes to that, and he really helps me with that. And I'm just looking to get better and, focusing and honing in on those details every single day.
DJ, you beat Moss today at practice with a pretty good spin move. Where'd you develop that?
College, trying things out and 1v1 reps in practice. And just kind of learning the leverage of offensive linemen as well. Because, once you get them going one way, their feet get moving. And if you can stop on a dime and spin them around or give a hump move, you're able to get past them. So just kind of working on those things. I haven't perfected it yet, so I'm still trying to get better at that.
He's an edge guy and you're an interior guy, but how much can you pick up from him?
Oh, man. I mean, every time Bosa goes, I watch every single rep. I watch every step he takes, how liberty he is with his hands, how liberty he is with his first steps. I watch it all because he's a great player. And, one day I want to be a great player and, really making a name for myself in the league. So, I'll take every little thing. Even though we play different positions, some of the stuff does translate, how quick you may shoot your hands or how violent that first step has to be. You gaining ground on your second step as well, So talking to him, he's been helping me with that and just really focus on me getting off the ball every single rep.
Do you go to him or does he come to you or is it both?
Honestly, it's both. It was one practice where he was watching me get off, and he's like, hey, just keep doing that every single rep and translate that to the team as well. Because, team, a lot of other things are thrown in. You got the play, you got, what formation offense does. But if you just focus on getting off the ball, you'll be okay.
Name DJ Jones been mentioned to you, raised by Kassurk or anyone else?
Yeah, I've heard that a couple of times, through the wind.
Have you watched tape of him when he was here or maybe in Denver?
Yeah, so actually I watched a lot of tape on him when I was back in college as well. Because, when you're a college player, you kind of look to see who you fit as, who you look like in the NFL, what kind of role you may play. And, watching games and stuff, I'm like, man, I look a lot like that guy. We have the same frame, same height, arm length, and different things. We kind of have the same play style. So I was watching him in college. Then when I got drafted here, I was like, oh, man, I really got to dive deep into it because he was really successful in this game. And under Coach Chris, he did really well. So
he's coming here next week.
Yeah.
Do you plan to pull him aside at any point?
I mean, yeah, it'll be awesome to have a chat with him, but my main focus is just getting better on that practice. If we got that time to do that, that'd be great. Learn from some of the vets throughout the league. But my main focus is getting better every single day, and how can I hone myself to be prepared for the team in the season.
DJ, what do you think about the other rookies at your spot? You got Collins and Valdez has looked good.
They're great. They're great. And every single day, you know, once we watch film, we can just see the steps we take to become better and, you know, honing in on those little details. All those little steps we have to take, all the things that, you know, Coach Chris is very, very, like, prone in on to making us better, and just to how we can win every rep is just those little steps, those little details. And that's the difference, you know, coming from college. It's not the same as college where, you know, you can take a bad step, you may be able to, you know, recover and still make a play. But here, like, if you take a bad step, you're done. You know what I'm saying? So that's really what we've been focusing on.
Obviously, you guys all have different styles, but the 3 draft picks coming in together, is there a similar thread that kind of runs through you as far as the challenges you're all facing at this point in training camp?
Yeah, it's the details. Like, you know, like I said before, as a rookie, those are the things you have to really hone in on, because the game might not come very quick for you, but if you get those details and, like Coach Chris says, you know, stay on your attack line, you know, learn your steps, shoot your hands, like, you'll be able to make some plays and you'll be able to, you know, figure everything else out from there. But, you know, if you just not focusing and not getting off the ball, the game just speeds up way too quick for you, and you won't be able to, you know, help yourself or protect yourself when it comes down to it. So
Sala called you a fire hydrant. Can you use your build to your advantage?
Yeah, I mean, you know, sometimes I'm 6'1", and, you know, being shorter than a lot of offensive linemen, I get to be able to use my leverage, and I get to get under them a lot more. And, you know, I got stockier arms, I got a stockier build, so I get to lock them out easier and things like that. So I definitely use my, you know, my height advantage and my build frame for, you know, for my leverage. And when it comes to that, just continue to play low and get under people.
What do you think about being called a fire hydrant?
That's pretty cool. I mean, whatever Coach Sala says, I'm gonna just, you know, learn from him and continue to just do what he needs me to do, because I just want to win. You know, that's my end goal, and whatever I have to do for the team for that to happen, I will do it.
Topic of winning, there's a lot of vets here that have been real close to getting over the hump and winning a Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have time to wait around. There's a lot of spots on that defense where they're
Right.
going to need some young guys to step in. Do you feel that urgency from those vets of like, hey, we need you young guys to come along pretty quick?
Yeah, for sure. This is not like college. You don't get a redshirt year. Like, when you come in, you need to be ready to play. And I mean, I was always told pressure is never given; it's earned. So, you know, we feel like we earn that pressure, and we're going to do everything we can to continue to just, you know, break those barriers that we need to do through our practice. So, you know, when it comes to pressure, we're just going to continue to work and get 1% better every day, and that's all that really matters. And then, you know, the outcome will be the outcome, but it depends on how we work.
I'm sure those vets aren't necessarily pressuring you, but how are they helping you along?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, they're great helpful. They're very helpful. You know, Kevin Givens, we got Kalia Davis, Jordan Elliott, EA, Evan Anderson. They've really been helping us with those little details that we talked about, because they've been able to take so many reps of, you know, taking that perfect step, shooting their hands, getting off the ball, and just being able to watch them do it really helps me put into the image in my head, like, this is how it's supposed to be done. So, you know, they've been great with that.
Where does the grip strength come from? I think a lot of people have talked about your hand strength, and the hands are a big part of your game. How do you develop your grip strength?
That first starts when in the weight room. Whenever, and especially when we're in practice, anytime I'm striking a bag or striking a pad or striking anybody, like, I'm just grabbing something, because if I got cloth and I can be able to control a guy with some of their cloth and some of their jersey, like, I know I have a pretty good advantage. So, you know, that's kind of how I go about that. Just, I'm always trying to grab something. Always trying to grab, you know, shoulder pad, a little bit of jersey, because if I can tug on that and then kind of pull you away, like, that'll get you off balance.
It sounds like it might be illegal.
No, not if they call it. If they don't call it, we're good. All right, thank you, everybody. Appreciate it.
How's it going,
How you doing?
How you doing, everybody?
How difficult was it, like, during the off-season program, not to get out there? And do you think beginning a training camp that kind of set you back, just not getting those reps on the field?
You know, OTAs just, you know, focused on mental reps and, you know, getting healthy. And, you know, fall camp came and, you know, I feel good, feel 100%. So, you know, it was a process, and you know it went well.
Yourself at this stage of training camp, just kind of, you know, thinking, you know, not overthinking, but really thinking through what your technique is and how you're supposed to do it here with the 49ers?
I mean, like Coach K said, sharpen the axe every day. So, you know, I'm finding something to get better at every day. You know, this is a new scheme for me. So, you know, just sharpening my axe every day. Yeah.
At what point in the summertime did you feel like you're 100%? Did you get back in time, like during the summer, to be able to like work out full speed and that kind of stuff?
You know, I just really listened to my training staff, you know, medical. You know, they had a great plan for me. By fall camp, I was ready. I'm 100%, and you know, we're gonna keep on staying healthy.
There's a couple rush sequences today where you did some pretty agile things in terms of spinning around that maybe we didn't see the first couple days of practice when you're first getting into it. Do you feel like you made a leap today?
You know, like I said, you know, focusing on little things, you know, stepping at the guard, you know, little things to, you know, better my game. You know, I'm going to evaluate the film, my coaches, myself, and see what I can do better. So.
How much of a resource have you guys, the 3 draft picks, all kind of used each other to, you know, you're all going through similar things, different but similar. How much do you guys kind of compare notes and you know, work with each other to get it improved and get on the same program?
You know, we really, you know, if we have a question, you know, we always just talk to each other. We're always just talking to each other. And, you know, if we have any confusion, the way he remembers it, the way CJ or Mykel or Seabass might remember it, might help me remember it, you know what I'm saying? So we always just, you know, collabing and stuff like that. So I feel like that really helps.
Is that fun to kind of be part of something like that with young guys who are expected to?
Oh, for sure.
Be, you know,
Yeah. It's a challenge, and, you know, I love it. We all love a challenge. Even with the older guys, you know what I'm saying? They really help us too. So, yeah.
You mentioned it's a new scheme for you. What's the biggest transition for you in terms of like technique or the scheme?
It's go. There's no reading. So, you know, working on that, getting better every day. So, sure.
Alfred, do you set individual goals for yourself and what you want to get accomplished your rookie year?
You know, I'm just taking it day by day right now. Of course, you know, I'm trying to be the best rookie D tackle, but that comes with work. So, you know, I'm going to be where my feet are, continue to better my better, and, you know, we'll see what happens next.
Looking forward to practicing against a team with a different uniform next week?
I'm very excited, yes. It's going to be fun, for sure.
What's it like being in a room with CJ? We just talked to him a minute ago. It seems like he's just a ball of energy, man.
I love CJ, man. I love CJ. Y'all see him. Y'all know how he is. I know how he is. He's a funny guy, high energy, great football player. So, you know, I love me some CJ.
You watch him. What does he do well?
Man, his head strong, great run defender. Shit, great pass rusher as well. You know what I'm saying? You know, we all got work to do, but yeah.
Anything else, guys?
All right, cool. Great, thank you.